How's it going, Gon here? It's finally time, you're not ready for this? I've been building this machine for the last year and a half. This is the Mont Plug. With the Mont Plug I can view every video game commercial imaginable, with a simple touch. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. When this thing reaches a certain amount of time, it sends the user to the void. So we gotta be careful. Before we go to the third generation of video game commercials, we first need to go through some Atari commercials that I forgot to talk about. There's this commercial where a guy allegedly is arrested by Atari, and can you guess what game this is? But don't worry, Pele soccer fans, here's this commercial that features Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Mario Andretti and Pele playing some Atari games, including Pele Soccer. Pele was the first person to get a sports game with someone's name on the title, even before Madden. The fun part about this commercial is that there's a Spanish version where it got redubbed.
Abdul juega contra el básquetbol de Atari.
¡Qué buena canasta!
Conduce en las pistas de Atari.
¡Qué fácil el salirse de la pista!
El Rey Pelé practica su propio fútbol.
¡Qué golazo! ¡Casi que me ganan otra vez!
Absolute peak. Now let's go to the third generation and the renaissance of the video game market. With the introduction of the Nintendo Entertainment System, commercials were normal once again. Here's a simple commercial telling you what the NES is and what the hell a ROM is. They talk about ROM more than the console itself. Please man, this guy is a great. Nintendo just advertised the product by showcasing it in an accessible way. Accessible, I swear to Christ. An advertisement for the 1989 game, The Adventures of Bayou Billy. This one reminds me of the Atari era commercials. Here's some guy fighting a crocodile. Amazing. Games from the black box/silver box era received special ads where they had the same beginning. In the Metroid one, someone gets shot. The Legend of Zelda commercial, also known as Purgatory. Seriously, this is the first thing you see after death. It begins with some kid showing off his friend a Nintendo Power magazine, and the other kid says,
"Whoa, nice graphics!"
And then they start playing Zelda while rapping random nonsense. This is the epitome of Nintendo 80s commercials. The original Mike Tyson's Punch-Out commercial featuring, you guessed it, not Bill Clinton. Just a mere thought of Mike Tyson playing Punch-Out is weird, but now he decides to punch the screen, like, come on! I always forget about the NES Max controller existence, but here's a commercial of a kid playing with it. Top Gun for the NES. Painfully average game gets a commercial that's just that. It doesn't even have Tom Cruise, instead we have Cruise here. The Super Mario 3 commercial. This one is one of my favorites and also quite bizarre. A lot of people shouting for Mario, and then it's revealed that they're in the shape of Mario's face, while we hear an angelic Mario voice saying Mario. It's quite short, but I think it does the job pretty well. This was a celebration of the release of Mario 3. Everyone knew what Mario was at this point. You don't need to show gameplay. Here's a commercial of Star Wars for the NES. Darth Vader walks up to a house, and dies. 3 movies for nothing? Here's an interesting commercial for Zelda 2 Adventure of Link, a fully live-action reimagining of the classic, and we don't even see Link's face. But the interesting part, at least for me, is that this same commercial was used in Portugal, but instead of Zelda 2, they advertised Zelda 1. I think Zelda 2 wasn't even out at the time, but it's odd. Now that we're talking about the Portuguese NES commercials, here's one for the Superset accessory that lets you play up to 4 players. I'm sure that this commercial released overseas, but finding rarities like this is cool. These were the only NES Portuguese commercials that I found. I focused more on the US and European commercials, but I think I need to mention at least one Japanese ad. This one is also pretty cool. He advertises the Famicom top loader, here's some Nintendo characters, and we also learned that Wario and Link are bros. That's odd, but moving on. A series of commercials for the Famicom Disk System. Not a big deal, it shows you the games available and a little animation at the end. They're kinda cute. Nintendo didn't advertise the Disk System a lot, but when they did, it always featured the mascot Diskun. And you're probably thinking, I've seen this guy in Smash, and that's exactly what I said when I saw one of these ads for the first time. Let's move over to the cream of the crop, the absolute worst commercials from the NES era. Here's one which is just poorly marketing decisions, Robocop and Bad Dudes in the same ad. What is this? And the gameplay shown is not even that interesting, even from an 80s game. Alright, this one from the top loader is just terrible. It's so over the top and in your face, I hate it. Let's just throw everything until it sticks. This commercial is just that, and after watching this, I still don't know what the top loader is. Japan did a far better job than this. Now let's move over to Australia, let's see what they have there.
We are Nintendo.
Oh my god, this might be the worst looking commercial I've seen from Nintendo, and this is not even from a country like Indonesia. This is Australia. I mean, look at this, at least I'll give them credit because I can identify everyone in this ad. Except this dude, where did he came from? I think he's some exec from Nintendo, but hey, who knows, it might be Miyamoto and we don't know. But what they're saying is true. No one can beat Nintendo, they were unstoppable in the 80s. Absolutely no one could. The Sega Master System, Sega's 8-bit console and runner-up for the winner of best-selling console from the 3rd generation. That's if you don't live in Brazil, they ate this shit up. The Master System doesn't have as many memorable commercials as the NES, but we can still look through a few. I have time. Let's start with one of the first Master System commercials from the US. I like this commercial. It showcases what a console is. The game's available, the Master System gun, it's perfect. In this generation, commercials were becoming more advanced. They're not Odyssey's lame-ass commercials anymore. It was the same idea, but executed in a different way. Here's probably the worst one. Ukrainians? Please explain. This one is from Brazil, the country that still sells Master Systems next to PS5s. This one is cute, it's a commercial for the Master System 3, it shows Sonic running around planes, the moon, boats, until he enters a TV where Sonic 1 is being played. Someone better check the Master System's pulsar rate, that's just unreal. Here's the goofiest Master System ad, it's for Shinobi. These kids just go nuts over the game, not a big deal. But wait, they did the same with Thunderblade and Phantasy Star? Their lazy asses reused the same footage but in commercials. Damn Sega. This one is from 1991, once again from the UK. The guy in the end does a moonwalk. I think I ran out of ideas. On the 3rd generation we definitely saw an improvement from the 2nd generation, but in the end, they were all the same. They can be crazy or just trying to sell a product, but in this generation we got memorable commercials that your average gamer can recognize. Everyone knows about the Zelda rap, everyone knows about the Rob commercial. This is pretty remarkable. And we didn't even talk about the 4th generation. That one is gonna be big and full of heavy hitters. But until then, the Mont Plug is gonna shut down.